On pole is Mark Hankins here in Fontana, California for race number 15 of the 2017 HARC Pro Series Tour. Hankins is going to get not the most optimal start, but he's going to have a lot of competition up there. Jake Baizhiyenov looking to the inside line, Jon Gambit to the outside, but Hankins is going to breathe some life. It's at number 7 halfway through the corner. He's going to pull out to the race lead right ahead of Jon Gambit in the 5. Hankins is doing well in the point standings. He's trying to get a good run today to try and get him close to the points leaders. Hankins able to hold off the charge from car number 5, but a few laps later, Jon Gambit in the number 5 would make the crossover and get a little bit of help from Tommy Turbo on the inside line. Gambit with a good head of steam going into turn number 3. He's going to work his way underneath Mark Hankins and take the race lead away. Now, Jon Gambit's had some good runs throughout the year, but he's usually not the driver we talk about when it comes to finishing the race. A lot of good qualifying efforts. I remember correctly, he was doing quite well at Cape Town before he ran into issues in his number 5, spinning in that really troublesome corner. Mark Hankins trying to bounce to the outside. Vince Freeze is currently 15th on track. He's the best of the one-offs. He's known for having cold tires, and his friends joke with him they should open an ice cream stand. But Vince Freeze wants to be a race car driver, and he's going to go into turn number 3. Oh, he's got a problem. Car number 44F down to the inside line, and we've got a couple of cars getting wild. Big contact in turn number 4. Several cars involved. Oh, there's cars on their lid. Caution is out. The first caution of the day comes out on lap number 3. Let's see what happened here. So the 44 had an issue. It looks like a tire down. Derek Hamill is going to slow down to try and avoid him. And look at this. Mitchell Carter with a horrible flip, and he lands on his wheels too. Hamill goes on his roof as well. What a crazy wreck to start off this race here in Fontana. Let's take a look at Mitchell Carter here, what happened to him. So just Damir Baizhiyenov gets stacked up ahead of him as well. And oh my god, that is a vicious flip for car number 80. I think he even landed on the number 13. Right in the windshield. We'll have to get a look at that. Here's on board with Damir Baizhiyenov, which this is going to be a huge points implication for him. He's going to get involved in this wreck early on. He didn't need this. He was up there in the top 5. He ends up in the wall and then, ooh, man, it's a good thing these cars have their safety mechanisms as they do, because that could have been bad for Baizhiyenov, as the number 80 went crashing right down on the windshield. It probably bowed that thing in. Here's on board with Mitchell Carter. This is the angle that you want to see. And look at this. It's just a vicious cycle as he lands up and down on the racetrack. He's going to keep it driving a bit here, but that car would be out of the race. Also involved in that was Daniel Bouchard and Sylvain Lasavage. Bouchard was trying to make his debut. Fortunately, it's going to end after 3 laps. Jon Gambit is going to lead them to the restart. Mark Hankins is going to look down to the inside line. There's Matt Engelram in the 47. He's trying to work his way up to the front there. Down to the inside line. He won your season opener in Homestead. He's trying to get another big super speedway quote-unquote win today. But Jon Gambit's going to get that good push going down the back straightaway, hang on to the lead on the outside line. Some people are running to the high side, some people are running the incredible low line, some people are even clipping the apron. There is Shrimp Engritz in the number 78. Glad to have him back in the series. He raced last year in the HARC USA Tour. This car is split the ride between multiple different drivers throughout the year. Engritz is going to be the last one before they determine who's going to run the final event. He's 7th right now, and he's on a charge through the front, and you're not going to miss that tied reminiscent scheme as he works his way through the field today. Engritz, he's got something to prove, and he wants to show that he's the top dog here. In fact, another interesting about that car, it's a DeLorean that he's driving, but he's going a little bit faster than 88 miles per hour, so he's got one up on Doc Brown and Marty McFly. We got to spotlight the CJ Racing cars. They're both doing well today. Chris Dodd in the number 88A and Tommy Turbo in the 3. They are 5th and 6th at the moment. And as you see, Chris Dodd starting to get a good run on Jake Baskinger in 4th place. Baskinger having a great run as well. Same for Hankins. So these guys that are close to the championship, they're going all out this weekend. They want to make sure they maximize their points gains. Dodd's going to pull to the outside of the number 10. Here comes Tommy Turbo right behind in the U.S. Army colors. He's not had the best season so far, but Tommy Turbo is hoping for a good conclusion to the year. Car 7, Mark Hankins is going to try and catch the number 5, take that lead back. He's got a good run to the outside line. Oh, it's going to get dicey as Jon Gambit pulls up a bit. The 7 is going to get right on the back bumper. And look at that crossover. It's probably the slowest crossover move I've ever seen, but it's going to be a crossover move nonetheless. And Mark Hankins is going to work his way to the bottom and try and steal the race lead away from car number 5. Coming down to the finish line, he's going to take the lead for this lap, and it looks like we got a caution out on the racetrack. Yep, there are the lights. The lights are out, and we have our second caution today on lap number 14. Let's see what happened here. Casey Lester's down to the inside line. He's going to get real slow going through the corner. 4 wide with him and Wilhoit, and Wilhoit's going to get into him. Spin him coming out of the corner. He's going to collect Jay Jefferson. Oh, and the Crastas. The Crasta brothers, both from California, are going to wreck out their home race. And did I see Andreas Allen in the 39 just barely weave his way through that? Let's go on board with some of these drivers here today. Let's see. This is Tristan Wilhoit. Let's see what happened here. So, yeah, it looks like Wilhoit, he didn't turn into him. It looked like he got loose coming out of the corner. So maybe the 013 being down low took the air off him. That's what caused him to get into Lester. So that wasn't necessarily his fault. Now, here's a good shot. Andreas Allen, yikes! That was nearly the end of Andreas Allen's streak of finishing races right there. And this is the driver who got the worst. It was Sidney Crasta, number 21. He's going to bang up the entire front end of that vehicle, and he would go out of the race. A shame for him. Brandon Crasta would keep going, though he's got a little bit of damage to his number 09. Sidney will have to pull that thing to the garage area. Everyone else, though, is going to keep it on track. That wasn't all under this caution. Mark Hankins, after taking the race lead, just slows down going through turn number 2. We're getting a report saying that Hankins was told that the caution was out and to slow down, but they were actually supposed to race to the line because they had gotten past the start-finish line. So he's going to give up quite a few spots, drops all the way down through the top 10. Pit stops occurring on lap 16. Jake Baskinger got the lead by the 7 giving up the race lead. So we'll see how that shifts on pit road as everyone comes down pit lane this time around. Everyone should be good to the finish with that pit stop. Jake Baskinger will keep the race lead in car number 10. Gambit is going to lose quite a few spots, and especially Mark Hankins. Not only did he stop on track, but Mark Hankins actually had a really bad pit stop, so he's going to drop all the way down to 22nd. Jake Baskinger, 2 wins this year. He's one of the favorites up near the top of the standings. He's not the favorite, but he's trying to put an exclamation point in the air by perhaps getting a win here today in Fontana. He's got a full head of steam from Jack Lagasse in the number 18, who's had a somewhat cursed year in that number 18, despite some good finishes. But Lagasse trying to get that first victory. Chris Dodd up there as well in the number 88A. Got a win last year. Oh, we got a big crash. Big crash as they come to the line. Jake Baskinger is going to win the race to it. What happened here? So Grayson Acevedo is going to get into the number 4 of William Brock. He's going to collect Matt Engelram. And we've got a wall of cars down the front straightaway. Oh, heavy contact for Alexander Rowe. And cars over. There's several cars over. What a wreck on the front straightaway. Several cars ended up on their lid. A huge crash here at Fontana. Let's take another look at this one with a little bit wider scope. And as you can see, oh my God, Van Evenhoven. A horrible flip by Yepes. Roush ended up on his roof. That's Kyle Collins. Andreas Allen, he's wrecked up, and he's going to go out of the race. Let's take a look at our still camera from outside of turn number 4. So you see the pack racing, and Acevedo just got into Brock. He wrecked himself as well. And it's just going to be a wall that collects the entire field. Going on board with some of these. Oh, yeah, that's Jerry Guerra that we're on board with, and he's going to make some heavy contact with the number 36 of Alexander Rowe. He's going to go out of the race. How about William Duncan there, that number 83? He's going to slide through it, but he was the last one. Car number 81 goes all over the place. And Yepes is going to have a wild ride in the number 77, and a lot of good cars involved in this one. Mark Hankins, I see Pericles on board with Van Evenhoven. See the wild ride he went on, pirouette on the nose. Oh, Tony Tavalares in the 69, he's going to flip as well. Felt, he's been staying in this race for a little too long. On board with Diego Yepes making his debut, not going to be the debut he wanted. And look at this. Camera goes out on the number 77 for a little bit. Going to come to a stop, and here's another angle. Here's our digger cam. And yikes! No, look at all these cars just sliding past our camera, and we lose it there. One driver had a pretty smart strategy, though. It was Vince Freeze in the number 44F. He's gonna go down pit road. He doesn't stay on track for this one, though. We're getting reports that he actually did have a tire going down as well. Those cold tires must be picking up some shrapnel. But Vince Freeze, the last car to avoid the wreck in its entirety. So a total of 22 cars were involved in that one. 26 drivers are left in this race. So we've lost a sizable amount of the field. As Jake Baskinger out front, trying to hang on to the lead. Jack Lagasse looking to the inside line, not going to quite get it done. As Carl Ndumian not going to be able to give him the push that he needed. But here comes Chris Dodd. He's going to try and make a crossover move. He's got Lagasse with a little bit of help. Can Chris Dodd clear the number 10? He's going low, trying to get it done. He's going to maybe slide ahead of him. The 88 just can't quite clear him, and it looks like he finally is going to get it done. As Chris Dodd's going to take the race lead here in the Peak Chevy. Baskinger drops to third place, but he's still up in the mix. And just going back to that restart, William Duncan, he avoided that wreck, threading the needle, but he hit some shrapnel on the way around. And William Duncan will have to go down pit road and fix a flat tire on that Sony machine. Bad luck for him today. Lap traffic in the form of Shrimp Angritz in the number 78. Let's see how he'll do. He's going to keep low and let the leader go by. See if he's going to be as generous with the rest of the field or if he's going to try and race for it. Angritz was having a good day, but it's going to get knocked down a peg. But this could be a good run for Justin Carter in the number 85. Didn't talk about him in the early going, but the 85 started out the year as one of the top guys, or at least one of the guys to watch out for. Things have kind of fell off for the Welch's machine, but Carter could have a good point stake, considering that a lot of championship guys have gone out so far. There's still a couple up near the front, but Carter could see a gain the points if he can hang on to it. But right now, going for the race lead, slides it all the way underneath the number 5 of Jon Gambit. He's got Chris Dodd to the inside line. Is that 3 wide for the race lead? I think it is. The fans are in for a treat here today in Fontana as Carter is going to edge out the 5 to the line. Here comes Jake Baskinger. It was almost 4 wide for the race lead. As Carter, trying to hang on to it, slots ahead of the number 88. He's going to keep the lead, but for how long? As here comes the number 5 of Gambit to the outside line. Jake Baskinger in the center. And there is Bill Littlejohn in number 30. Where did he come from? He's all the way up there now. As Carter, easy come, easy go, takes the lead, instantly gets dropped all the way down to 5th place. We look a little bit further back into the field, and you see him going by pack racing near the front, and this has been some wild racing with a lot of the best drivers in the sport. You see Bill Littlejohn, the experienced veteran. Spencer Fullerton's up there in the 73. Chris Dodd's got a good performance today. Zayden Davidson to the outside line. Just a lot of drivers here that have an opportunity to make something happen today. Gambit's starting to pull away from the lead, but he's not going to stay up there for long. He's got this 4-car draft down low. Chris Dodd trying to work his way through the field, get back up to the lead. We mentioned Bill Littlejohn up near the front. He did fairly well here the last time he came. Top 10 for the number 30 machine in 2015. We didn't go to the track in 2016. But here comes the 30 of Bill Littlejohn. Awesome Bill from Point Roberts. Doesn't have the same ring. But he's going to work his way to the outside line and just edge out the 5 to the line. Bill Littlejohn takes the lead in the number 30. You see some lap traffic ahead of him as Vince Freeze in the 44F had to make yet another pit stop. William Duncan in the number 83 still trying to recover from when he had to pit for that tire down on the restart. He was hoping for a quick yellow and unfortunately not going to get it. Bill Littlejohn trying to catch these lap cars and get through them with relative ease. Chris Dodd's going to follow him, but he's going to pull away from the rest of the pack as Jon Gambit He's going to lose some ground on the inside line. Littlejohn, though, up front, he sees that lap traffic, and he's going to have to try and find a way to maneuver past them. One's a rookie, the other is, well, William Duncan, so it's not going to be an easy feat to try and maneuver through these guys safely. The pack is starting to fall behind, and it's a 3-car breakaway. How about Benoit Lothair-Irvine up near the front in the number 15? He's got a good chance to get a good run today, as he's going to battle it out with Chris Dodd for the second place position. Look at that 15-car fly through the field. But here is the 30. He's got the lap traffic. Will he get boxed in? He looks like he might. These two cars are still fairly quick despite being behind the pack. Littlejohn's going to have to try and save that car on the outside line. Gets a little loose. That's going to allow Chris Dodd and the rest of the pack to catch him. Got a spotlight. Car number 29, Skyla Johnson, one of the championship favorites. She's doing well today in 8th place. This is a good opportunity for her to catch DJ Curtis, as she finds herself near the front of the pack, trying to get the victory. Won earlier in the year at Pocono, but is trying to get that second victory to say, hey, I'm here and I'm ready to run for the championship. Time is starting to run out, so these drivers are going to be a little bit more aggressive as we head toward the final leg of the season. Bill Littlejohn just can't seem to get by these lap cars. He got past William Duncan, but he still has Vince Friese ahead of him. There's Jay Jefferson now in the 25, and Caden Van Evenhoven. Despite that flip, he is still on the racetrack, but here comes the field. Zayden Davidson to the outside in car number 5. There comes Gambit and Dodd as they catch the lap traffic. Oh no, car gets hooked! Bill Littlejohn, heavy contact with the wall. Jon Gambit involved as well, and the caution's out once again, and Littlejohn went from leading the race to now smoldering in turn number 4. What happened there? So it looks like Jon Gambit had a huge run. He catches Bill Littlejohn with a full head of steam and just turns to number 30. Nowhere to go. Chris Dodd involved. Brian Fox in the 74 got a piece of it as well. And that is a hard hit for Bill Littlejohn. Here's the onboard with the number 30. And just was not expecting it. Luckily, we have the safer barrier at this racetrack, and he didn't come to a direct stop. He was able to scrub off some speed, so Littlejohn's okay, but he's going to be hurting tomorrow, and I don't think he'll be too happy with that number 5 machine, even though it was more of an accident. Zayden Davidson, car number 9, he finds himself in the lead, the Australian, and he actually was helped out by the lap traffic as Vince Friese and Jay Jefferson started right behind him, same for William Duncan. So they all started right behind him and held up the other lead lap cars. Davidson trying to run away with it, car number 9. There's the number 10, though, a Baskinger. He's got help from Benoit Lothair-Irvine. And Vince Friese racing our race leader. I don't think you want to race him that aggressively. Baskinger would catch up to car number 9 of Davidson on lap 47. Time is starting to run out on track. Irvine is up there as well. How about Spencer Fullerton? Down to the inside line. Call him the captain for his frequent yacht excursions that he takes when he's not on the racetrack. But Baskinger will take the race lead with a little bit of help from the 15. Now he's got to deal with that lap car of Friese, who has really given his sponsor some screen time today, as he's hanging up there with the leaders. Not the run that he was hoping for, but trying to show that he could be a viable competitor if he races next year. Tony Green has had how would you put it, a terrible season. He's mired at the bottom of the standings, and he's not yet gotten a top 10 finish this year. However, he has a good opportunity now, as most of the field is out of the race, and he finds himself in 12th place. So if everything can go right for him, which the case is normally the opposite, Green could perhaps get that first top 10 of the year. Only he and Aiden Shepard have not gotten the top 10 this season. Carl Endumian, car number 1, one of the veterans of HARC, is going to work his way up to the front and try and get by the 10 of Baskinger. Baskinger has 2 wins this year. He's trying to get a third. Endumian has not won since 2016. Got the Calder victory. But Endumian finds himself in the lead, and some people are considering this place kind of a big Calder. It's a very fast track with a lot of 3 and 4 wide racing. So Endumian may feel inspired to try and win a race today. How about Tommy Turbo? He's going to sneak through into second place as Endumian trying to run off with this lead. Tommy Turbo starting to creep up on the number 1. But we got to talk about this kid today, as Turbo last year really wasn't much of a factor. Chris Dodd kind of stole the show on the U.S. tour for the Can-Am Series. Turbo was kind of the helper, as it were. Turbo's had a couple good starts throughout the year, but has not had a lot of good finishes. It's kind of mired near the middle of the standings, but this could be a day for Tommy Turbo to finally put a notch in the win column as he tries and chases down the number 1 of Endymion. Endymion is usually not too crazy about these young kids surpassing him, so expect Endymion to perhaps race him a bit. Turbo to the inside line. Neither of them really have much drafting help, so they're going to have to try and use sheer horsepower and momentum to hang on and or take the lead. Turbo's going to try and get to the inside line, but Bassinger's going to get into the mix, give the 1 a little bit of push in the corner. And I think that little bit of help is going to keep Turbo from leading a lap here at Fontana. Endymion would stay up front for a little bit longer, but here comes some challenges to the outside. There's the 9 of Zayden Davidson. There's the 73 of Spencer Fullerton. And how about Skyla Johnson hanging in there? She's trying to get the win today. She's worked her way up from 8th. Has kind of held back a little bit. Let these leaders race themselves and try and steal this in the very end. Baskinger in the 10s there as well. It's a 5-car battle out front. Davidson's going to look to the outside line. He's got some momentum up there. But the draft line is in the middle. As you see Endymion, Bassinger, and there he is again. That bright yellow car of Vince Freeze. Playing as a bit of a wild card out front. As he is not competing for this victory. Davidson's going to get the race lead coming out of turn number 4. Endymion will have to hang on to the second place position for now. Bassinger is going to look to the outside line, the Napa colors. And there is Vince Freeze putting on a show for the fans out here today. Davidson out front. Car number 10 to the outside, but here comes Chris Dodd. He's going to work his way back up to the front. Tight racing going in the corner number 1 as Dodd finds a small opening. Davidson's going to slide up the racetrack. Dodd, though, trying to make it stick down low. Can he hang on to it? Not quite. He's not going to get that draft line. Bassinger's going to give a little bit of help. It's really anybody's race up near the front. It's just who's going to be the one to get it in time. We are on lap number 56 of 62. What could happen? My mistake, lap 58. As Davidson's trying to hang on to this one. It's a bit of a 4-car breakaway up front, 3-car pack right behind them. Maybe hoping that these drivers get into each other in the late going. Davidson's going to try and hold true to the lead. He has not won yet, and he's the only one in the top 4 without a victory in his career. The Regina Builder machine's trying to hang on to it. Car 10 trying to make something happen. See if he can get that 3rd W and catch DJ Curtis. But Davidson's going to get a really good run out of the corner. He's going to run away with it down the back straightaway going into turn number 3. Car number 10 trying to hang in there. What a battle out front. This is one of those races, one of those days. The fans are probably all out of their seats. We've had a lot of spectacular wrecks, a lot of spectacular racing. As Davidson trying to hang on to it in the late going. But here comes the 10 of Jake Bassinger to the outside line. Carl Endymion right behind him trying to give him a push. Davidson down low, but Bassinger with a full head of steam coming out of turn 2. He's going to reclaim the lead. Time is running out. This is lap 59. And we have 62 laps in this one. So only about 3 laps to go when we get to the line. Here comes Chris Dodd to the inside line. He's going to try and steal it away. Gets to the bumper, tries to get the 10 loose. But Dodd, no help down low. Not going to quite get it. Stalls out a bit. Here comes Davidson to the outside line. The Regina Builder machine. Side-by-side battle for the lead going into turn number 1. Davidson trying to hang on to it. But Baskinger is right there in the middle. Dodd's running the low line. You got Endymion right behind him. He's trying to catch up. Jack Lagacy. Skyla Johnson back there trying to get into the mix. As Baskinger is going to hang on to it for now. Davison, though, with a charge. Gets right to the back bumper. Bassinger's going to go to the low line. Davidson's going to follow. I think I see Vince Freeze there on the apron. Perhaps he's pitting again? Maybe, maybe not. No, he is not. Bassinger, though, drag race to the line. Bassinger's going to hang on to the lead for now. He's got help from Chris Dodd. Davidson's going to try and pull up a bit and get a little bit of the draft from Carl Endymion. Looking ahead, though, lap traffic on the horizon. That's Caden Van Evenhoven still racing, despite that car having an issue by flipping through the air. Bassinger trying to hang on to it. He's going to pull down low. Davidson's got a clear outside line. The 10's going to try and get a little bit of draft off the 10, but not going to clear the 81 in time. The 9's going to get the lead, and the number 10 is going to get stuck behind lap traffic. Chrastas is going to pull to the inside line. No one's with the 10 on the outside. They're going to try and split Van Evenhoven, but Davidson out front. Meanwhile, a little bit further back in the pack, Ike Durbin, heavily damaged, involved in one of the big wrecks today. He's going to try and make it to the end, but unfortunately it's going to only come up 2 laps short. He's going to draft with the number 47 here, and then, boom! The engine is going to go on the 86, and that's a real shame. He was hoping to finish this one out, at least try and salvage something for today, but a part's going to go late in the going. Just couldn't hang on for much longer as the 86 was pulled down pit road. As mentioned, with 2 laps to go. Final lap, final couple of corners. Zayden Davidson, the 9, has been racing a great race today. He's going to try and hang on to it. 2 more corners. Bassinger with a good run to the outside. Dodd really quick on the inside line. Can they catch him in time? Coming out of the final corner, coming to the line. Davidson's going to throw the block on the 88, and Zayden Davidson is going to win his first career HARC Pro Series race. What a run for Zayden Davidson, the Australian. Didn't get the win in Calder, but he got his first victory today on a track that is equally as exciting. Good job for Zayden Davidson, the number 9. Held off some of the best today to get that first career win. He's going to be celebrating this one long into the night, and perhaps even a bit tomorrow too. Great performances by a lot of drivers as they're going to wind down and head to pit road. Davidson got the win, followed by Chris Dodd in number 88A. Jake Bassinger, most laps led, but it's going to settle for 3rd. Jack Lagasse is going to finish 4th, and Skyla Johnson, impressive top 5. That will go a long way for the title. Carlton Dumian is going to end up slotting in 6th place, followed by Spencer Fullerton, a good run for him. Tommy Turbo hangs on to a top 10 finish with the 85 of Justin Carter in 9th. Brian Fox, a big surprise in the top 10, rounds out that top 10.